I'm Dax Brolin. Today we're going to be talking about the Y Wing Star fighter. The Y Wing was made by Cohen Star Manufacturing during the Clone Wars. Now, when you see the Clone Wars Y Wing compared up to the Galactic Civil War Y Wing used by the Rebels, they look quite a bit different. The Rebel used Y Wings are pretty ugly, and I personally really like that about them. They're actually my favorite ship in all of Star Wars. But the reason why the Republic Y-Wings, even though they're the same ship, they look quite a bit sleeker. That's because Y-Wings originally had armor plating on them, but to get to the mechanics underneath, engineers had to take those platings off. And then they just got annoyed with it and they ended up throwing it away. So by the time they got passed down to the Rebels, they were all gone pretty much and no one bothered attaching them. Now the Y-Wing, for a very long time, was the mainstay of the Republic fleet. It wasn't just used for bombing, as we see mostly in the original trilogy movies. It was also used as a starfighter, which is quite surprising knowing that it's very irmaneuverable compared to the other fighters of its time, especially the TIE fighters. However, it could take a beating. It was a very solid ship. Now, it only carries 2 laser cannons, while, other ships such as the X-Wing carried 4, but also carried an ion cannon turret on top of the cockpit. The ion cannon was used to disable ships without fully destroying them, so that could be useful, not in just a military sense, well I guess yeah, military sense, but if you wanted to capture something you could take it out. It also carried proton torpedo launchers. Now an X-Wing can only carry 2 proton torpedoes. A Y-Wing, depending on how you load it, can carry many proton torpedoes, so that's why it was used for the bombing role mostly. Now there are a few different models of these Y-Wings. One of them, the standard one, is the pilot and gunner, and then an astromech droid. Now, once the later models came out, it became just a pilot and the astromech, because the gunner became kind of redundant because the droid can take care of all the other functions that a pilot doesn't have to, as seen with such ships as the X-Wing. Now the other models of the Y-Wing are a recon version, which is very lightly armed and armored, and had very long-range sensors to pick up multiple large targets at a very long distance. And there's other ones that are equipped for just pure bombing, take off the armament, and just load it down with bombs. During the Galactic Civil War, because the Y-Wing was aging so much, the Rebels felt like they needed a replacement for it, so they came up with the B-Wing. You can see the B-Wing during the Battle of Endor. It's pretty cool looking. I mean, I personally don't like it because I love the Y-Wing so much and I don't want it to ever go away. But the thing is, the B-Wing, although it did carry very heavy armament, it wasn't as fast or as agile as the Y-Wing, which was one of the Y-Wing's biggest complaints. So if the B-Wing can't replace the Y-Wing, if it can't fix the Y-Wing's biggest complaint, then what's really the point? So because of this, B-Wings were used with Y-Wings, but the B-Wings were never able to fully replace the Y-Wings until much after the Galactic Civil War. The Y-Wings were used all the way through the Civil War and used by the New Republic. It was also used by multiple pirate groups and smugglers and shippers and stuff as escorts for their larger ships and freighters. So not only was the Y-Wing used by the Republic and the Rebel Alliance, it was also used by different pirate cells and different freighters. So it proves that the Y-Wing is a very versatile craft and can be used in a multitude of situations. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see y'all next time.